Welcome to Spiritual Journeys. I'm Renee Marie. Today's episode will be about Chief Andrew Frank Foolscrow. Chief Andrew Frank Foolscrow, Oglala Lakota Sioux spiritual and religious leader and medicine man. Frank Foolscrow was born near Porcupine Creek in Pine Ridge Indian Reservation near Wounded Knee in South Dakota on June 4th, 1891. His father, Eagle Bear Foolscrow, was the Porcupine district leader. His mother, Spoon Hunter, died 4 days after giving birth to him. Foolscrow great-grandfather, Holds the Eagle, was a medicine man and holy man. He was raised in the traditional way by his father, aunt, and stepmother, Emily Bigroad. Foolscrow quit school in the 3rd grade so he could work to help support his family. Foolscrow became a healer after his vision quest in 1903. He also traveled around the United States with the Buffalo Bill Cody Wild West show. His first wife was Fanny Afraid in 1892 to 1954. His daughter, Mary Marie Lonehill, was born in 1925 to 1984. His second wife was Kate, 1892 to October 1988. Both wives assisted Foolscrow in his curing rites and watched over him while he spirit traveled inside his sweat lodge. In 1970, Frank Foolscrow was invited to offer a prayer before the United States Senate. Dick Wilson, who became chairman of the Pine Ridge Reservation in 1972, gave up Lakota land, including the Black Hills. He used federal government funds to create his own forces to terrorize his adversaries. Oglala Sioux Civil Rights Organization was formed and tried to impeach him. Federal forces moved in to the area and set up machine gun positions at the Bureau of Indian Affairs. On February 23rd, without a proper tribal council quorum, Wilson was exonerated and quickly banned all public meetings and demonstrations on the reservations. In November 1972, AIM members briefly occupied the Bureau of Indian Affairs in Washington, D.C. to protest programs controlling reservation development. In 1973, the night that the occupation of Wounded Knee took place, the leaders of AIM met with the traditional Oglala elders and leaders. As senior elder, Foolscrow urged the young leaders to seize and occupy Wounded Knee and to make their stand in protest of the United States government's policies on Native Americans. On February 28, 1973, 54 cars full of residents arrived at Wounded Knee and gathered at the mass grave for a prayer with movement spiritual leaders Pete Ketches and Leonard Crow Dog. On the list of demands presented to the Justice Department, Foolscrow was listed along with other chiefs and medicine men as supporters of the movement. After the occupiers declared themselves to be the independent Oglala Nation, Foolscrow traveled with Matthew King, his interpreter, and Russell Means to the United Nations to make a speech. The occupation lasted for 71 days. Hank Adams, the personal representative of the president, arrived with an agreement to the proposal that the chiefs had sent to the White House on May 3rd. Adams handed a letter through a barbed wire fence to Fools Crow. Fools Crow and the other leaders accepted the proposal, which stated that the White House would send representatives to Pine Ridge to discuss a treaty in the third week of May and would get tough on Dick Wilson. In Washington, D.C., on May 17th, the Ogalallas had their White House meeting. Fools Crow was told that the historic treaties were dead. Fools Crow spoke congressional hearings on June 16th and 17, 1973. In August 1975, 30 activists, including Fools Crow, traveled to Washington, D.C. to discuss the 1868 treaty, sovereignty, and the continuing violence and civil rights violations. On September 5th, Fools Crow gave the opening prayer for the United States Senate. During the same morning as this prayer, the FBI staged a massive paramilitary raid on the property of Leonard Crow Dog. On September 10th, 1976, Fools Crow gave a speech before the Committee on Interior and Insular Affairs for the return of the Black Hills to his people. In 1983, he presented the fifth and current Chief Indian Regala to the University of Illinois. Fools Crow lived with his grandchildren near Kyle after the death of his second wife, Kate, in October 1988. Fools Crow died Monday, November 27, 1989, at the age of 99. He is buried at Mediator Episcopal Church Cemetery, Kyle, Ogallala, Lakota County, South Dakota. There are 2 books about his life and work: Fools Crow in 1979 and Fools Crow, Wisdom and Power in 1990. For more information about this great man, read them both.